If you're a Marvel Comics fan excited for 2023, I hate to piss in your Cheerios, but that's basically what's going to happen today. We've got the details of a $9 comic book and a comic book event that's not really an event. And here to talk to me about that is Doc. Bam, Doc, how you doing?
Well, my wallet is doing a lot better now that I don't read brand new Marvel comics because fuck your $9 comic.
And people are probably wondering, well, what is the $9 comic book, Wes? It is Ultimate Invasion #1. The transformation of the Marvel Universe begins. Superstar creators Jonathan Hickman and Brian Hitch team up. The Illuminati must form once again to stop the Maker from his plans to destroy or perhaps rebuild the universe, with Miles Morales at the center of it all. Brian Hitch's work on the Ultimates helped redefine superhero comics for the 2000s. Wait until you see what he and Jonathan have in store for this decade, including new data pages by Jonathan Hickman, plus exclusive behind-the-scenes material on the world building that has gone into this project. 52 pages in total for $9. So you're not only paying for the story, but you're paying for data pages and behind-the-scenes access for the low price of $9, Doc.
Yeah, so 52. I thought it said 56, but maybe I'm wrong. Regardless, 50-some pages, including data pages and behind-the-scenes bullshit, and they're going to charge you for that? And this is just one of 4? No, that's a $36 miniseries for the you're probably going to get, knowing Jonathan Hickman and his weird obsession with data pages, maybe 40 issues of story here?
I don't know what's going on here, Doc. You know, $3 seemed like we're starting to push it. $4 is like, all right, now we're starting to turn people away. It felt like we were getting to the $5 comic book being the norm, which is absolutely going to turn people away. But now they've jumped to $9 because Jonathan Hickman, and I'm a Jonathan Hickman fan. I certainly like Jonathan Hickman more than you, and I like Brian Hitch. But $9, you can get the first edition trade of a fucking Image comic book for that.
You can go buy virtually any manga for that, and I don't even like manga. Who in the world are you marketing this to? It's not a good value proposition for anyone. I don't care who they are. They could be fucking Skip, the most diehard Jonathan Hickman fan I've ever met. Hey, and I love Brian Hitch's work. I've loved him on virtually everything he did. $9? Even if I was still buying new comics, that would be an instant nope. I'm done. I'm not even interested.
And it's a miniseries, as you mentioned, so you know it's not a full story. For your $9 that you're paying, you're getting 1/4 of a story with a bunch of data pages and behind-the-scenes footage. I don't understand what's going on here.
They're selling this thing as if data pages and behind-the-scenes stuff is actually a marketable value proposition. That is not value add. That is fucking DVD bonus commentary for watching a movie at home. It is not part of the story. It is not adding to the story. I mean, it just demonstrates how much they're really screwing you at this point.
Where does it end, Doc? That's my question. You know, we started out with Action Comics 1000, which I believe was $8. Then we got to Detective Comics 1000, which is $10. Those are milestone books. And, you know, a lot of the DC Comics 80th anniversary stuff were like $8 to $10. But there was a lot of meat in there. There were complete stories, and those are primetime characters, and you've been building up to it for 80 years. This is the restart of something they killed off, you know, several years ago. And I understand Jonathan Hickman's a draw, but he's not that much of a draw. There's no logic to this whatsoever.
All it is just do the exact same thing that they've done for the last decade. Hell, the last 15 years. David Gabriel is a moron with only one tool in his toolbox, and as a result, every single thing he has looks like a fucking nail. It doesn't matter what the actual options he has out there. He has one thing, which is raise the price, call it prestige, give you less content, and slap a bunch of variants on it and make it an event. That is his only tool in his entire toolbox. At any other company, he would be the guy fetching coffee in the marketing department, not the head of it.
Well, it's crazy. And we know that Marvel's had an enormous problem for like 18 months, maybe longer than that, with basically printing their comic books on toilet paper. I see no reason why they would change that for this. They're going to charge you $9 for tissue paper with color on.
Somehow the paper they're using here is more expensive yet crappier than newsprint. What used to be interior page quality is now being used on the cover. You're getting shit quality book for way too much price. As much as I like Brian Hitch's art, a lot of the stuff that they're doing with the modern coloring makes him look like fucking mud. And then you're only getting a quarter story for essentially the price of almost 2.5 comics. No, just flat out no.
It's crazy. This is something I was somewhat excited for. I was definitely going to cover it here on the channel, but you couldn't get me to cover this anymore. $9, 52 pages, 1/4 of a story with data pages and behind the scene coverage. That is not something that I want to endorse here on the channel and say, I know it's expensive, but the story's good. You should go in for it. If you're paying $9 for Ultimate Invasion #1, you are a sucker. That's all I can say about it.
Not only that, but I mean, this is modern Marvel that we're talking about. You know that even at 50 some pages, not a goddamn thing that matters is going to be in this book, because they haven't done a book where like the launch issue actually fucking matters in their event story in a decade. These books don't matter until like issue 4. And all issue 4 is to retcon everything that's happened to that point. For $9, you're going to get a quarter of not even a story, because I guarantee there's about enough meat to this story with modern Marvel Comics, modern events, and honestly, modern Jonathan Hickman, that this would have been a 2-issue filler story, but they're going to stretch it out to 4 double-and-a-half paged issues. No.
Absolutely ridiculous. And then we got the details on Summer of Symbiotes, which is supposed to be an event. Marvel Comics has revealed their plans for the celebration marking Venom's 35th anniversary, which will be celebrated with ongoing series, limited series, and crossovers spotlighting Venom, Carnage, Red Goblin, and many more. It turns out it's not even an event. It's just like, I don't know, it's a trade dress to put on stuff that has to do with Venom.
Yeah, this is a way for them to further brand dilute Venom, who is a character that has suffered from massive amount of brand dilution ever since Donny Cates left that book. There's no cohesive story to this. They talked about Summer of Symbiotes being an event. There's no event here. It's a bunch of one-shots, miniseries, and new ongoings with a banner slapped across the top. None of the stories actually really connect to each other. There's no overarching plot thread through it. All this is a way to do the thing that's been bad for the Venom character, which is having way too many symbiotes, to take any uniqueness that Venom and or Carnage had and basically set it on fire.
But there are 2 new symbiotes, Doc. They're going to introduce 2 more of them. That's a reason to buy, right? It's a first appearance. It might be worth $12 one day.
No, like literally no symbiotes since Venom and Carnage are worth a good goddamn. Does anybody give a shit about Riot, Shriek, or one of the other 43? Scream. Yeah, Scream. This is even more of a non-event than that Extreme Carnage was that came out, that was just a bunch of one-shots that were slapped next to each other that you couldn't even tell which one came in order, and you really didn't need to read in order because none of the story mattered between them. This is even worse than that. Now they're expanding it from just one-shots to one-shots and miniseries and sometimes ongoings. There are too many everythings in all of modern comics. Too many bat people, too many spider people, and way too many fucking symbiotes. And the sales thing on here, the sales pitch for this is, hey, that thing that you already have too many of that have no uniqueness, let's give you a few more.
Well, let's talk about that, Doc. The stories are including Venom from Al Ewing, Carnage from Alex Packnadell, Extreme Venomverse from All-Star Creators, where the hell that means, Red Goblin from Alex Packnadell, Carnage Reigns, a Miles Morales Carnage and Red Goblin crossover book, Cult of Carnage Misery from Sabir Pirzada, Edge of Venomverse Infinity comic, and finally, Death of Venomverse from who the hell knows, because apparently they don't have a fucking writer for it yet, even though it's only coming out in a few months' time, and it's like, there's nothing exciting there. And you know Death of Venomverse isn't going to end any of this because they got to have another Venom event next year.
Look, it was bad enough when they did what are they on, like their 5th Spider-Verse thing? Now we have Venomverse, except for they're all from the same fucking universe. Kind of confusing. This is about the 3rd Venomverse thing that we've done. And Death of Venomverse, honestly, everybody knows that just means we're going to launch 17 other new Venom knockoffs. Any sort of brand uniqueness that Venom had, let's fucking burn that into the ground. This is almost as bad as the X line at this point with symbiotes. Alien goo people that attach to you. That's the through line to have like 97 of them in your universe.
I don't know, man. I don't think Marvel can be fixed now. I think they're so stupid. They're so stuck in their ways that they're completely unfixable. All they can continue to do is fuck themselves over and over and over again.
Absolutely. I mean, looking at this list of all the books, there's 2 that should exist. Venom and Carnage. Everything else is superfluous nonsense.
Not too long ago, Doc and I were talking about how comic book retailers were screwed in 2023 because we were pretty certain the regular price of a comic book was going to go to $5. Now that we're seeing the $9 issue number 1 of a mini series, it's so much worse than we could have possibly imagined. And this video is only a few weeks old at this point. If you haven't seen this, it's absolutely devastating what Marvel and DC are doing to comic shops. You can see this right now. There's also a link in the video description.